Have you ever felt like you weren't quite yourself anymore? Like your thoughts were fraying at the edges? Like your reflection was looking back at you with eyes that didn't quite belong to your father or your mother? Most horror movies want to kill you, my dear curiosities. They want to slash, bite, or haunt you until you stop breathing. But Annihilation? Alex Garland's quietly devastating masterpiece wants something far more intimate. It doesn't want to end you. It wants to refract you. It wants to take everything that makes you, your memories, your guilt, your DNA, pull it apart like soft taffy, and recombine it into something unrecognizable. Today, we're stepping into the Shimmer, and we're learning how to write a horror that doesn't just scare its audience, but rewrites them. We have 3 succulent lessons and 5 ironclad rules to dissect. And stay with me until the end, because I've prepared a dead curious cheat sheet packed with trivia that'll make your skin crawl in the best possible way. Welcome back to Dead Curious. I'm your host, Vyxen Storm. For those of you new to my little den, I am a 9-tailed fox who grew up on curses and cinematic nightmares rather than Saturday morning cartoons. If you like your analysis with a bit of a bite and a sultry edge, you're exactly where you belong. Today, we're dissecting the 2018 film Annihilation, a case study in horror where the environment, the monster, and the protagonist bleed into one another until the original form is lost forever. Our first lesson is about the visual language of change. In most horror, mutation means ugly. Cronenberg-style body horror, slick, swollen, and repulsive. But Annihilation does something far more dangerous. It makes the horror beautiful. Lesson 1, the aesthetic of alteration. When you write a horror that rewrites its characters, the change shouldn't feel like an infection. It should feel like a masterpiece of biology. Trees twist into human silhouettes. Deer walk with flowering antlers. Organisms merge that have no business sharing the same body. The result is cognitive dissonance. The audience doesn't know whether to recoil or stare. That tension is the hook. Rule 1, change is inevitable and indifferent. The Shimmer isn't evil. It doesn't hate humanity. It doesn't even notice us. It simply doesn't recognize our right to remain unchanged. Nowhere is this clearer than the bear. The creature doesn't just kill, it absorbs. The scream it emits isn't supernatural, it's biological, a refracted echo of consciousness filtered through a predator's body. When writing your horror, ask yourself, how can the environment reflect the character's internal decay? Because in Annihilation, the landscape isn't hostile, it's honest. Now let's get a little more psychological. Lesson 2, identity fragmentation. In Annihilation, the expedition members aren't just losing their lives, they're losing their sense of self. Fingerprints writhe under the skin, memories blur, time collapses. This is where the real horror lives, not the fear of death, but the fear of replacement. Rule 2, the self is a suggestion. Alex Garland has stated that every member of the expedition is self-destructive. They don't consciously want to die, but something inside them is already unraveling. Lena is consumed by guilt, Ventress by obsession, others by grief, addiction, or self-erasure. The Shimmer doesn't create these flaws, it externalizes them. Rule 3, horror starts at the cellular level. If you want to truly unsettle an audience, don't put the monster in the closet, put it in their blood work. Once characters realize they are physically becoming part of the world that's undoing them, escape becomes meaningless. You can't run from your own changing selves, can you, my dear curiosities? At last we reach the lighthouse, not the origin of the shimmer, but its epicenter. Lesson 3, Cosmic Indifference. The entity in Annihilation has no throne, no face, no manifesto. It is a process, a prism. This is the core of effective cosmic horror. The moment you explain the monster's motive, the fear evaporates. Rule 4, no motive, just biology. Your antagonist should never give a villain speech. In fact, the most terrifying choice a writer can make is to give the antagonist no voice at all, only an echo. When Lena confronts her mimic, it doesn't threaten her, it doesn't conquer her, it reflects her. And that leads us to the final rule. Rule 5, nature wins. In a horror that rewrites you, victory is impossible. You don't defeat the shimmer, you either die or you change. The Lena who walks out, is she Lena or is she simply a refracted continuation? That ambiguity is the real ending, and it lingers. Let's distill the infection before we too are refracted. Lesson 1, aesthetic alteration. Use beauty to mask horror. Pretty nightmares linger longer. Rule 1, indifferent change. The world doesn't hate your characters. It's just done with their current form. Lesson 2, identity fragmentation. Turn internal guilt into external transformation. Rule 2, the self is a suggestion. The horror exploits what's already breaking. Rule 3, horror at the cellular level. The most inescapable prison is your own DNA. Lesson 3, cosmic indifference. Your antagonist doesn't need motive, only process. Rule 4, no motive, just biology. No voice, only echoes. Rule 5, nature wins. Never give them certainty. Let doubt fester. Take a moment to read the trivia. Pause if you need to. I'll wait. Keep these notes in the light and see how they refract into something unfamiliar. Writing horror isn't about jump scares, my curiosities. It's about reaching inside your audience and rearranging their expectations, just like the shimmer. If you enjoyed this descent, subscribe and join our growing den. And tell me in the comments, if you entered the shimmer, what do you think you'd become? I'd love to read your most twisted transformations. Until next time, stay curious, stay scared.